Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Before we get into this one, can I just ask that you check if you're still subscribed? I know it's a big drop today. Some have come back, but there was a big drop when you look at the videos. They weren't coming off. So this is just that evaporation that YouTube keeps doing, where it unsubscribes people against their knowledge or will. So go back, please do check you're still subscribed. And if you are yet to subscribe, now is the time to do it. It's going to be a busy year. There's a lot of stuff happening, and you won't want to miss anything. And particularly, you won't want to miss this. Now, we know Nicola Sturgeon resigned a year ago today. Well, it's been a year, and in that year, she's done precisely the square root of bugger all. She's barely attended. When she has, she's said nothing. They are she's effectively not present. 4 speeches in a year. She's not working for a constituency, and it is time for her to go. She won't want to. She enjoys sucking at the public teat because she is a bit of a parasite, but she's doing nothing for the people that elected her. And it isn't just one person saying this. It is across the whole of the political spectrum. So perhaps she does need to consider her position, stand down, and let the people of her constituency, Govan Hill, have someone who is willing to put the effort in and look after their interests. Let's have a look. So, spectacular failure. Nicola Sturgeon's legacy lies in tatters, as she's told to stand down as an MSP. It's even worse than tatters, I think. It's absolutely shredded. It's been poured down the toilet. It is complete arsewater, her legacy. It's one of corruption, one of tainted nastiness. It's one of potential criminality. It's one of potential mass murder. It's one of potential perjury. You've got to be careful how I word these, but you know what I'm saying. Everything that's possible is possible. And she's just in the middle of all this. And there is no getting around it. She's never told the truth, ever. She cannot ever tell the truth. And she won't even tell the truth to herself. She won't even accept her own being, her own, who she is. And she keeps trying to hide that. And she pretends she's Scotland's mammy, and yet ultimately she has harmed Scotland in ways hitherto unknown. Because she's not actually normal. She's broken on the inside. She's a psychopath and she's a sociopath. Only Nicola's way. She never meets the middle. Never negotiates. It's her way or no way at all. She's ruthless, heartless and soulless, and that has been shown after the years of what she's done. And whatever hatred that there is in there, she cannot allow people to just live together. She has to have the theming and the ussing. And once you do that, once you separate peoples like that, that leads to hate, to war, that leads to misery. But that's exactly what she knew was going to happen, and it's what she wanted to happen. She ultimately, I think, wanted to become Queen Nicola of Scotland. And now she's seen for what she is. A nasty, vindictive, hate-filled parasite that has destroyed all that is good and all that is well, and possibly may never, ever be fixable. That'll be the worst of it. This particular cancer may never be cured out of Scotland. 1 year on from the dramatic press conference at Bute House, when she announced her resignation, Nicola Sturgeon has turned into a part-time MSP, and the voters of Glasgow South Side deserve better. The people of Scotland deserve better. The people of the world deserve better. Nicola Sturgeon was told her reputation and credibility lie in tatters, and urged to resign as an MSP 1 year after she revealed her decision to quit the top job. Well, she's been shown now that she is absolutely a liar. There's no getting her. Like I said earlier, I don't have to put allegedly in front of that one. She is a liar. She is unreliable. She is untrustworthy. Nothing she says can be believed. And so whenever she says anything, you know it's a lie until she can prove otherwise. Since the former First Minister's shock press conference on the morning of February the 15th, 2023, the SNP's fortunes have plummeted and the party has been rocked by successive scandals, with probably more to come. Miss Sturgeon and her husband, the former SNP Chief Executive Murrell, have been arrested and questioned by detectives over the alleged fraud on party accounts, and she's also been criticised for deleting almost all of her WhatsApp messages, despite saying first of all she didn't use it, then saying she didn't use it for important stuff, then saying that any important stuff that she did use it for would have been recorded, and then admitting that no, it's been proved that nothing was recorded. It was all deleted. And all the denials have been proven to be lies. And she said these under oath. That, of course, is perjury. She needs to be jailed for that at the very least. And that's before we start looking at the 4,500 potential corporate murders that she may be responsible for. Her successor, Humza Yousaf, has allowed the SNP's lead in the opinion polls to slip away, with Labour now set to make major gains in Scotland at the general election, assuming the poll earlier was wrong, which I think it probably was. And a raft of Miss Sturgeon's key policies, most notably the disastrous gender reforms, have been scrapped or shot down in the courts. Nothing. She's achieved nothing. And that is her true legacy. Because that's all she is. She is a nothing. She's a cipher. She's not a human being. She's a spectre. She's a shade. A wraith. That's all. Meanwhile, since her move to the backbenches, the Glasgow Southside MSP has made just 4 spoken contributions in the Scottish Parliament. And one of those was due to a technical issue. So, Scottish Conservative Deputy Leader and Scottish Daily Express columnist Megan Gallagher said, 1 year on from her resignation announcement, Nicola Sturgeon is now a totally discredited politician and human being. She's a failed human being now. We all see that. She said her reputation and the credibility lie in tatters. Both her and her husband were arrested in relation to the murkiness surrounding the SNP's finances, and we've seen from the COVID inquiry she cynically and shamefully deleted WhatsApps from the pandemic period on an industrial scale. That, of course, is because she doesn't want to go to prison for mass murder, allegedly. And while at the same time her independence obsession remained on her agenda even during an unprecedented public health crisis. Oh, everything she did was to try and make Scotland independent. Then she'd have declared herself president of an independent Scotland, and then she'd have declared herself queen of an independent Scotland, and nobody would have gone against it, and she would have been Queen Nicola of Scotland. That was always her plan. The deletion of messages represented a disgraceful betrayal of bereaved families. This is Megan continuing. And has highlighted that the former First Minister was front and centre of an orchestrated cover-up to hide information around crucial decisions. And while she's no longer in power, she still has a duty to her constituents as an MSP for Glasgow Southside. But she's even failing on that front. She's turned it into a part-time MSP who appears to have little interest in raising their issues in Parliament. Scots are still suffering the impact of Nicola Sturgeon's legacy and have rightly seen right through her efforts to spin a positive narrative on her record. She's a disgusting failure. She has done so much harm and continues to do harm by her very presence. Labour peer George Fuchs went on and went one step further and called for Miss Sturgeon to resign as an MSP. She held her seat against Scottish Labour leader Anna Sarwar in Glasgow Southside in 2021, although the SNP's majority was down by 9.6%. Lord Fuchs predicted Mr Sarwar would win if a poll was held again this year. I think her seat is now unsafe. I don't think even supporters in the SNP are starting, other than the other, you're still going to get the rolling eyes mad ones, but a lot of them are starting to see through and starting to realise the harm she's done. Anyway, Fuchs continued. He said her resignation marked the start of a collapse of the SNP. In fact, he says, I think they are now being challenged by the Labour Party, and it is her legacy. And it shows her whole time in office has ended in spectacular failure. I think she's absolutely should stand down. I don't know why she wants to continue, because she's never been a very good constituency MSP. In fact, she's never been good at anything. And the only thing keeping her going is the fact that pensions she'll never have to work again because of the rules of pensions. But I think, the pensions should be cut and she should be jailed. And that should be where she spends the rest of her life. Anyway, Fuchs continued. He said, my informants in Glasgow tell me her constituency is in a terrible state and she does very little to promote Glasgow Southside. Too many politicians. All they see is power and the glory and the leadership role, and they don't think about representing the interests of the people who elected them in the first place. And that, of course, is Sturgeon. And that really is her legacy. Failure. And now it's time for her to go. And when I say go, I don't just mean go as an MSP. I mean go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect £200 and stay there for the rest of your miserable life, you potentially murdering bitch. Coming up. Everyone is seeing through her. All the opposition parties are saying it's time to go. They're saying she was failure at everything she's done. She's certainly not representing her constituents. The whole area is falling apart because she can't be bothered. She's a very lazy woman now because I'm not in charge. I don't want to do it. She's turning up for the money and then sodding off and doing sod all. A parasite. But then they all are really. But she is now the biggest parasite going. She's still going money, money, money. The longer I stay, the more I get because greed. I hope the law does eventually catch up with her, and I do hope that she does spend the remainder of her life behind bars in a prison, having a really miserable time and thinking about all the misery that she's caused in her years of power and how it's all come tumbling down and is a complete screaming failure. That, of course, would be her true legacy. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, and let's just hope that there is justice in this world. Bye.